Uh, how about on Rumble? You guys hear me on Rumble? Yeah. How's the quality? A little bit better? Sound quality? Sound quality better than the crap that we've been dealing with for a while? Yeah? Echo? Don't say that. Don't say there's an echo. There simply cannot be an echo, and it can't be fuzzy. How about now? A little bit better? Turn down the gain. How about now? Better? Worse? What? Tell me. Okay, so we have people saying loud and clear, and then we have other people saying fuzzy. Excellent now? Okay, sounds better. The gain was a little high. I had to turn it down. So let me just tell you. I didn't think I was going to be able to have a show tonight because everything here is new. I don't know if you noticed, but the camera quality should be a lot more crisp, right? You should actually be able to hear quite a bit better, more clarity on the microphone, right? Better turn down a little more, okay. Okay, good. Yeah, so we got new mics, we got new camera stuff. We got a whole new setup. We got a monitor here, an M6 audio input output thing. I can't wait to hear it myself. Obviously, I can't hear it right now when I'm live, but I don't know what's going on with Q. So if Q's down, just ignore it for now. Not sure. So truthfully speaking, I didn't actually think I was going to have a show tonight because and that's why I put upgrade. Ow, hold on. That's why I put upgrade as the name of the show, because I really thought that this was going to be a tough. Now everybody's texting me. Not that good. Much better. Okay, thank you. Turning gain down is much better. Audio is good. Overdriving, distorting a bit. How's it now? Dave, I'm going to go with you. How's it now, Dave? Is the gain okay? Okay, good. All right. I'm going to go to silence notifications. So I know that there's an issue right now, like you can't see enough of me, and I know that you guys want to see more of me at all times. So we're going to make that happen. Just not tonight. Honestly, I didn't think that I was going to have a show tonight. Just completely being honest, I didn't think I was going to have a show at all. So I'm a little bit, I don't have a lot of material for tonight, truthfully. Here, maybe I can mess with this camera. Hold on a second. I felt like an Oompa Loompa. There we go. I felt like an Oompa Loompa sitting down there. You know, like Elvira's film crew, the Oompa Loompas. It's not funny. It's not funny. I don't know why I even say it. It's not funny. I'm not laughing. I didn't even laugh. I don't think it's a funny thing to do. So anyway, I don't have a ton of content for tonight because truthfully, I didn't think that this live was going to happen. I really thought that this was going to be an issue. I ran into a lot of issues last night when I did a test run. Then today, I don't know, I just restarted everything and everything just seemed to jive. Everything seems fine. So the microphone that I'm talking to you guys on is probably one of the best microphones in the entire industry of microphones. So I'm assuming that there's going to be a much bigger difference in the sound quality that you hear. I still got to play with it a little bit. I think the settings are right. I think the settings are okay. I mean, I'll mess around with that a little bit, but This is one of the best streaming microphones, really microphones in any industry, including just about any industry, including like making songs and stuff. Can't get too much better than this one. So I really hope the sound quality is good. The video quality is a totally different setup. I had a little, I don't know what I thought was a good camera until I put this one on the screen. This camera is ridiculous. So you could really see what I look like now. And now you could also see how much better looking I am in person. I don't know if that was probably not the right thing to say there, but maybe it was. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Why don't you guys tell me where you're from tonight before we get started into some stuff here? We'll go to locals first. Oh, actually, you know what? I have the double feed in Rumble, so we'll just stay there. Where we at? Live chat. There we go. Where we at here? Michigan, Romania, New York, Montrose, Colorado, Michigan, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Michigan again. How many times in Michigan? The same guy saying it over and over again? Who knows? Probably, right? Green means go. That's not a place. Connecticut, Molokai, Hawaii. Nice. Molokai is beautiful. Everything in Hawaii is beautiful. Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Johnstown, PA. I played baseball there. We had a big tournament every year. It was kind of cool. It was when I was like probably freshman, sophomore year of high school. Beach Haven West, New Jersey. Pretty cool. Spring Creek, Nevada. Waterloo, Iowa. Zephyr Hills. Honestly, I've never heard of that, but I'm sure it is a place. Center Point, Iowa. West Jordan, Utah. Folk, Arkansas. Aurora, Illinois. Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's actually really hard to say. Cowgill, Missouri. Wow, I'm having a hard time, probably because I can't read without my glasses. Denmark, Mississippi Gulf Coast, Buffalo, New York, Massachusetts, Western Colorado, Bourbonnais, Illinois, Bourbonnais, that's a pretty cool name, but I can't say it, so it doesn't matter. Medina, New York, Lehigh Acres, Florida. We have a Lehigh in Pennsylvania too. Lehigh Valley, Lehigh University, pretty cool. What is with all these names? Piscataway, New Jersey, Piscataway? What? Who lives there? Well, look at this one. Osakis, Minnesota. Can't we just get like a normal one? There we go. Maine. There we go. I got that one right. I know I did. West Virginia, Newark, Pennsylvania. Cool. All right, cool. So thanks for the shout outs. Thank you all for being here once again. I want to say a couple things before we get started. First and foremost, I have 3 sponsors for tonight, and I want to make sure I fit them all in, because a lot of times what I've been doing is reading or mentioning the sponsors live, or I'm sorry, putting the sponsors down below in the comment area of Rumble and Locals and stuff, and then I forget to mention them out loud, so I don't want to do that tonight. First sponsor I want to mention before we get into stuff is Tax Network USA. Obviously, it's tax time of the year. If you are into paying your taxes and giving the money to the cabal, not that I fault you for that, because it is something that apparently people do, including myself, believe it or not. But the tax experts at Tax Network USA do it right. So first of all, people run into a lot of mistakes when it comes to audits. They simply don't do their taxes the right way. And when they don't do them the right way, they're subject to an audit. And there's 9 common mistakes that you have to watch out for an audit. Those mistakes are down below in the description of this video on Rumble. You'll also see that in the description on Locals, as well as the description on X, Twitter, Facebook, and a couple other places that you're watching live right now. Go to TN, that's for Tax Network, tnusa.com/Phil. They'll give you a little bit of a discount for preparing your taxes if you do use that link. And it's not just, audits that you have to worry about. You have to worry about filing properly, filing on time, and a whole bunch of crap that really, you guys probably have a better better things to do than worrying about that. So definitely head over to the experts over there, tax experts, and they'll help you out. That's the first sponsor. We'll mention one in the middle of the show and one at the end later on. So we got 3 of them tonight. Yeah, I know you guys are very observant. I've actually, and I don't know how, but I hurt it. This is a wrist brace, but really what it's for is a thumb. So I woke up one day last week and my thumb was just throbbing. I literally had no idea why, because I didn't do anything to it, but it hurt to do anything. So this limits the motion of my thumb to about that, to this top knuckle right about here. And it hurt. I didn't do anything to it. Like I wasn't doing anything active whatsoever. I just woke up and it was killing me. So I've had this thing on for a few days, and it started going away. And then I slept on it the other night and I woke up in excruciating pain again. So I had to put it back on. So it actually makes me really hot and I'd love to take it off right now. And then what's weird is it gets hot and sweaty. So like the inside of my hand right here, if you could see down there, it's like a pool of sweat and it stinks. That was probably a little too much information, but it was true nonetheless. Boy, oh boy, having a rough time tonight, as you could see. Oh, this one over here, Patissa Lazar. Patissa Lazar says, "Crybaby." That really hurt my feelings a lot. So take a couple deep breaths and get over this. So yeah, that's that. Another thing I want to mention before we get too far into it, I wanted to show you guys, see if I can pull up the screenshot here. It's not in the dark room, we went to the light. All right, what? Share screen. That. Allow. Presentation. Cool. I want to show you guys a little screenshot right here. 847,000 views for Q film #1. And that's only in a 7-day span. We are approaching 1 million views in 1 week. And keep in mind, these graphics that are on the screen right now represent only people that Rumble know are there. So what does that mean? That means if you have a registered account, you don't have to be following me, you don't have to be a subscriber, you don't have to be any of those things. But what you do need to have is a registered account on Rumble. You have to be logged into Rumble. That's how Rumble knows that there's people watching. So all these view counters that you get, my show, Right Side Broadcast Network, or whoever else, all those counters that you see, those are only counters of people who are actually logged in to, could maybe turn up 5 decibels. I could do that. How about now? A little bit better. There you go. Turn that. There we go. Those are only people that Rumble knows there. And they don't know if you're there watching, because how could they? If you don't have an account, they don't know. You could still go to rumble.com and watch any number of videos that you want. But unless you are logged into your account, you can't see this. So the important thing about these stats that are on the screen are, this is 847,332 views from people who are logged in to Rumble. These are people with actual Rumble accounts. The actual views on this go way into the millions. But what's amazing about this particular number is none of my videos that I'm aware of anyway have that many views. That is the most number of registered raw views that I have ever put on a live stream ever. And that coincides with my launch night. If you remember, last Sunday, I think, was when I launched that film, Q Film 1 on Beyond the Noise. When I launched that film last week, I woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning or something like that, because I don't know, I passed out on the couch and I woke up and I looked at the stats, and it was like 37 million just between the time that I launched it and the time that I woke up in the middle of the night. We'd never had that happen before. Never. That was an absolute home run of an audience. I've never seen that before. I don't know if I'll ever see it again, truthfully. But that was, I'm so happy and I'm so proud of the viewership that we had on that film, and probably much more importantly than that. How about this one here? He says, "How about Rumble bots?" Yeah, a lot of them are probably bots. I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I have no idea. If they are bots, I have nothing to do with them. I have no reason to pay for followers or bots. I'm like way beyond that kind of stuff. Even if I would do it. Even if I would do it, I wouldn't do it now because it makes no sense. I have the audience. Everybody is trying to catch up to me. So there's no reason for that to happen. But yeah, so 847,000 in 1 week. Really, really proud of that. And I want to say thank you to you guys. I'm nothing without my audience. Period. Nothing. It makes no difference what somebody says about me. It makes no difference if it's good, if it's bad. Makes no difference. Without that's driving me nuts. I got to move it. That's better. I don't know if I ever showed this to you guys. Steve Jobs. It's PSA DNA certified magazine photo cover. It's signed by Steve Jobs right there. You're probably not gonna be able to see this on camera, but oh yeah, maybe you could. Right there. This is from 1982. February 15th, 1982. I have it over there on the display shelf, but what was driving me nuts was that glare I was seeing in the corner. I couldn't do it, so I had to move it. I have to put that somewhere else. It's in hard plastic, so pretty cool stuff. I actually have an envelope over there too. That it's an Apple computer return envelope. I think this came with that. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so back to the film. I mean, that film had obviously a very wide reach, and I'm very glad that it did, because if you haven't seen Q Film 1 yet, I strongly recommend taking a look at it. I've been, for the last couple months now, going through some really, really traumatic experiences in terms of defamation, slander, libel, harassment, emotional distress, fear for safety, whole bunch of stuff. And it's hard to get through something like that and not be able to respond. And you know what the shame of this whole thing is? Let me tell you this. If I weren't me, right? If I were somebody else, yeah, we're going to do a Q&A tonight. I don't know if I said that. I thought I meant to. If you guys are getting worried, I don't have content for tonight because I didn't actually think I was streaming. And now that I'm looking at my mouth, it's a little bit beyond. I'm gonna have to watch the replay, but my mouth seems slower than my voice. So I'm gonna have to check that out. This was kind of a check and see. Do I have everything right? It's a lot of setup, and things don't communicate properly either. Like, you can't get this to communicate with that, and that has to be plugged into a different device before it goes into that. And if that device doesn't communicate with this device, then the whole thing goes down, and it's very it's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna be doing Q&A tonight. There is some intel that I want to talk about, but I think I want to. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we get to tonight. And by the way, before I even go any further, I'm going to have a lot of lives this week. Tuesday. What's today? Sunday. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Sorry. I think we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think. Not Saturday. That's not going to happen. Not Friday either. So I'll take a night off tomorrow, and then we'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3 in a row after tonight. So we'll hold a quick Q&A tonight. Try to get into some intel at the end of it. I just really didn't think I'd be live right now. I thought this was going to be a shit show and a crapshoot. And that didn't happen. We're in good shape. So what I was saying before was, if I wasn't me and I didn't have the ability to defend myself, to make that film, you know how much that film cost? It was about $40,000. That's just what it costs. You got to fly a film crew out, professional this, voiceovers, you got to pay a narrator, all the time associated with doing it. Yeah. Now, I pay my people. I know Nick Alvear doesn't, so that's the difference between me or him. So when you see him putting out films, he doesn't pay his guys. In fact, they email me asking me for payment for films that he did. They email me and they say, hey, I have content for his next film that you might be interested in. Do you want to buy it from me? I'm serious. That happens. I could show the email. That really is a thing. So if I didn't have the ability to make that film, if I didn't have the ability to hire attorneys, in the Nick Alvear case, I'm about $120,000 into legal fees. All because, and it's not just with Alvear, it's really with anyone that defames you. What do you do about it? So it's hard. It's hard to, if I didn't have the resources that I have and the ability to defend and the ability to show my audience that's what's being said is either not true, manipulated truth, or just completely a lie, then where would I be? Where would I be? So thank you guys for the views on that film. I want to talk one more thing about Quantum Films. Boy, do I have a good one coming up. And it is probably going to be the greatest thing you've ever let your eyes on. And I honestly mean that. It has nothing to do with Alvear or any of that. I don't want you guys to think that Quantum Films is like Phil's response to the defamation. No, that's not what Quantum Films is. Quantum Films is a whole film wing of me, of my brand, and of my ability to produce content. So up to this point, up to and including this point, I think you guys have seen a lot of me on live streams, right? You've seen a lot of me on social media and posting and stuff like that. But what you haven't seen is my ability to take a topic and just completely blow it up. You've seen me do some of that in live streams, but you've never seen it to the extent that I'm going to do it with these next few topics. Never. Q Film 2 is going to be off the charts. And I hope to have a teaser video for Q Film 2 maybe sometime this coming week. Maybe we'll actually reveal the teaser video in one of the upcoming live streams. I think that'd be cool. It's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be content. It's going to be a full-length film on various different topics, whatever topic I see fit. And there are a lot of topics that I would love to talk about. So super excited about that. Super excited. So we're going to do a Q&A tonight. I think it's a good night to do a Q&A leading up to the next 3 lives on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those lives are going to be very Intel content driven live streams. But tonight's going to be a good segue into them. In fact, some of the answers and some of the questions, hopefully, that I get tonight are going to lead into those live streams. What about Mike Penny? Mike Penny threw you under the bus? What? Me under the bus? Me. Phil. Threw Phil under the bus. Mike Penny? Mike Penny, the same guy that went to Dallas, waiting for JFK to come back, encouraged all of his followers to fly out there. And then he did interviews saying that he just talked to Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Tupac Shakur and Michael Jackson. And he's like, yeah, guys, get down here. Hurry up. You got to meet these guys. That Mike Penny? He threw me under the bus? How do you come back ever from doing what him and Negative 48 did in Dallas? How do you do that? You can never come back from that ever, no matter what. I mean, you will always be labeled a complete buffoon after you do something like that. It's one thing to talk about like the conspiracy stuff surrounding JFK Sr. and maybe even to a certain extent Dale Earnhardt or Michael Jackson. You know, a lot of us think Michael Jackson's still alive, and a lot of us point to specific reasons why we think those things. It's another thing to say, hey, I'm in Dulles and I want y'all to come down here and meet me. Oh, by the way, donate here. And I want you to meet Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Tupac Shakur because they're here. Come on down. That is a little bit different than like talking about if they could be alive or they are alive or why they might be alive and whatever. So there's no ability that Mike Penny will ever have to throw anyone anywhere because he is just a complete and utter joke to this movement. In fact, I got really mad when him and Negative 48 did that because here we are out here. I mean, like us, truthers, and even you, Anons, right? You're out here trying your best to actually figure out what's true and what's not true. And then you have these clowns out here saying that they met Dale Earnhardt Sr. Come on down. Come on down. Dale Earnhardt's here. You a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan? He's here. I just shook his hand. He said that. I don't know if it was Earnhardt or Michael Jackson or Tupac, but he said, yeah, I just shook his hand. You did? But you didn't get a picture with him or a video or an autograph, nothing? Interesting. But he threw me under the bus? No. He's not throwing me anywhere. He's not even in the same league. You know, just let him down there as funny stuff to laugh at when we're half drunk. You know? Someone here said, who listens to Mike Penny? Nobody does. Don't even worry about it. No one does. He's got like tens of viewers on his live stream. Throwing me under the bus. Okay. Wait. Got this new water. It's San Benedito from Italy. Natural artesian well water. Magnifique. I'm not wasting my breath. I'm just surprised that I'm live. I didn't think I was going to be doing a show, so here we are. All right, why don't we do a Q&A? Why don't we do that? Somewhere within the Q&A, I'm going to fit in. And by the way, I apologize for the Q&A, the last Q&A that we did, the gematria one. You guys really hated the shit out of that. I mean, I'd never seen such negative feedback in my entire life. I've never seen it. I mean, the feedback was so freaking terrible. It was the worst no one could ever receive that level of terrible feedback that I did for that gematria live. Nobody. And I'm not like ignorant. Like at the time I thought it was a good idea to do, so I'm going to do it if I think it's a good idea, but that doesn't mean I'm stupid. I'm going to read the comments and I'm going to see that you guys hated it, and then I'm going to remove it. I'm not going to do that again. I'll use gematria from time to time, but I'm not going to do a Q&A in gematria. I think that you guys have responded, and it is very obvious that did not go over well. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I thought it would be a good concept, especially for those that are, the autists and they're always trying to get gematria stuff and whatever. So I apologize for that. That's my bad. Talk about the octopus murders. Okay. So I did watch the octopus murders on Netflix and I was not shocked at all. Like not even a little bit. The cabal was rising to power in that time, in the time frame that the octopus murders were happening. And people like George Bush and Robert, what the hell was his name? I can't remember the characters' names now, but they are deep rooted cabal entities. And the one guy, I think his name was Phillips, the one that did the Indian thing in California, the Indian reservation. I mean, he was like literally all over the world setting up the cabal structure. He just did whatever they said. And in typical cabal fashion, these guys were turned on in the end. That guy that I just mentioned, the reservation guy, plus the guy the other guy that ended up killing the journalist, or they think he killed the journalist or whatever. That was all big. Those were all big cabal players. And what I think you see, if you haven't watched the Octopus Murders yet, I strongly recommend doing. Nichols, thank you, Robert Nichols, Nichols, whatever. I have no doubt that those guys were probably also involved in the attempted assassination of JFK Sr. And I say attempted because he didn't actually. Am I still in presentation mode? There we go. It didn't matter. I also think that those people were involved in the attempted assassination of JFK Sr. And I say attempted because he didn't die that day, which we'll cover very soon, not tonight. But yeah, I think those people were all involved in that, going all the way up to George Bush. And that's also why George Bush kind of proved himself to the cabal, if you will, with his involvement in the Kennedy assassination, the attempted Kennedy assassination, the false flag event. And then he was promised the presidency. And no better time to give him that presidency than with Reagan. Now, Reagan was supposed to be cabal as well, but he resisted it and he fought against it. And he kind of turned on the cabal, and he was obviously reminded that you shouldn't do that when he got shot. No better way to remind somebody that, you know, they're your toy than with a bullet, right? So yeah, it was a very interesting series to watch. I definitely recommend it. Little hard to understand. It's one of those documentaries that you kind of have to watch twice. The first time through, you're gonna be like, where on earth are we? Like, what is this? How is who? And now you're over to this guy? But that's kind of the concept. Like, an octopus has many limbs, right? Many arms. So that's the whole point. The whole point is that it takes you in all of these different directions. But the time when you watch it the second time, like I did, then everything really clicks. It's one of those types that you kind of have to do. All right, next question. What's with the goat hat? Well, obviously, you know, a lot of people call me a goat, and I never knew what they meant. Greatest of all truthers? This is probably right. I don't know. Is it? Am I the greatest of all time? I don't know. You tell me. A lot of you say that I am, so maybe I am. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not. Do I get a vote? I might be biased. I might have a biased vote. What was that one? Do you plan to incorporate Good Lion Films works into Quantum Films? I don't know where you're going with that. I'm going to answer it as if I do know where you're going with that. So I don't want to talk about Nick because you guys don't want me to talk about Nick, but I'll answer the question. Nick Alvear has committed the worst defamation, harassment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and otherwise on any person that's ever been done in the history of defamation suits. So he has literally no way out of that case. Now I have in writing text messages and otherwise that Nick tells not only me but others that he's a millionaire. Well, if that's the case, that's fine. You know, his millions could go to me, and I'll probably end up donating it. I don't even want his money. But in the event that he can't pay me any kind of money, oh yeah, I'll take his films. I'll take all of his films, all of them. And you know what's interesting was he was already sent a notice to preserve all documentation. So if he deletes any of them, it's actually a crime now. See, while everybody thought I was joking and didn't have the ability or the, I don't know, I guess the cojones to file a suit. Meanwhile, while everybody was having those conversations, that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and I did all that. So in the absence of Nick being able to pay me any kind of judgment, he does have things that I want, and that's his films. So Good Lion TV is kaput. And we'll just merge all that stuff into Quantum. I don't want to ruin his work. I don't want to lose his work. Some of his work was good. And then he went off the deep end. So, no, I know. Someone just said here, he's not a millionaire, Philly goat. Philly goat. Like Billy Goat, get it? Except Philly. That was good. That was good. That was really good. Philly Goat. No, I know he's not a millionaire. He doesn't even pay his employees. So I know he's just trying to like be tough and act tough to others or act rich for some reason. I don't know. I know what kind of car he drives. You know, it's like it's a Mercedes, all right. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But in lieu of that, you know, he's got things that I think are tangible assets. I don't want the car, you know. Maybe I'll give the car away to one of you guys if I do get it. But he's in big trouble. I mean, he's in big trouble. It's been 7 days. He hasn't responded to the lawsuit. So 1/3 of the time that he had to respond legally to the lawsuit is now gone. So we'll see what happens. He's got 2 more weeks. And go from there. Is our drinking water still fluoridated? I don't know if those are words, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to rephrase your question, if I may. Does our water still have fluoride in it? There we go. Now everybody understands, including me. You know, I wouldn't drink water unless it's like pure artesian water like this. Or unless you have a really serious filter on your water system. I just wouldn't do it because it's not about fluoride. Well, it is about fluoride, but it's also more about like heavy metals that get into your system and cause you to be sick. Could be cancer, could be autism, could be a whole bunch of different things, right? So I see no reason why I would drink water from a tap or from even like a regular filtration system. There's some really good filtration systems on the market, and I would really get yourself one of those. It's an investment in your health. It's not an investment in, you know, anything else. I tried to help everybody with those Seychelles filters a while ago, but the backlash on that was just so severe that I just said, screw it. You know, I don't want everybody to think it's one thing. Same thing I mentioned with My True Blood. I launched that My True Blood thing. I think it's mytrueblood.com/Phil. I think it's in my Linktree links if you want to look there. But it was a registry for unvaccinated blood. So if you ever need unvaccinated blood via donation, or if you want to donate your unvaccinated blood in case somebody else needs it, I thought that was a great idea. No one signed up for that. I mean, we had like hundreds, but I thought I would get thousands and thousands of signups for that. And boy, everyone was just completely resistant. It reminded me of the Seychelles thing. So to answer your question, I would absolutely have some sort of filtration system on your water, but I'm not going to go ahead and promote any particular unit like I did last time. I ended up taking in like $300 and some thousand, I think it was, in sales, or was it close to $1 million? It was close to $1 million in sales, and it all got refunded like within a week because we don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. And we just moved on. But yeah, there's stuff in the water, man. And, you know, I don't know if it's been removed. I don't know if the White Hats have added that particular, corrected that particular wrong. But I'm not going to take the chance. So if we have trillions, why worry about mortgage payments? Sorry, I have no idea what that means. If who has trillions? Like the citizens or the government? I don't know what you mean. The mortgage payments go to the cabal. They go to the central banking system. So if we have trillions, there's no correlation to what you said there at all. I'm sorry. I can't really go any further. Has Kate Middleton been taken out? Taken out? I don't want to go that far. I'm not going to go with taken out. But Kate wasn't what you think she was. Wasn't what you think. And I mean, she wasn't good. So there's some stuff going on with the Royals. And I mentioned this several weeks ago in a live. They're not good people. And when you see why Harry left and the girl from Suits, Meghan Markle, I think they'll clear things up as to what you guys have been thinking about Markle and Harry too. They are also not what you think they are, but not in the same way as Kate. Rumble Rant, $10 Rumble Rant, cool. I love money. Give me all the money. I'm just kidding. Don't give it to me. It's from DBAAE. Really confused. Boeing can be connected to Harpoon missiles that are being deployed in Taiwan and Ukraine. There was U.S. training on these missiles provided to the Ukrainians. He wore a shirt with the word Harpoon. Really? I wore a shirt with the word Harpoon? And Harpoon missiles are connected to Boeing? Wow. Wow. Maybe I knew something. You think so? I don't know. I don't know anything often. He's a grifter and all. So, wow. Is that really, that happened in like life? I wore that shirt and then there was a corresponding event that tied to a different event that I talked about weeks prior. That's probably what they call, what's that word? Oh man, what's that word? Come on now. It's a coincidence. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we should look a little further into those Harpoon missiles because I think that could be a big thing. Maybe we'll even talk more about that this week in an upcoming live. Who knows? Or maybe it's just all a coincidence and I'm just grifting. It sounds ridiculous when other people say it, but it sounds even more ridiculous when I say it, doesn't it? Is lobster a scam? Is that crypto thing? Just stay away from that shit. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, and obviously you could do what you want. Could you make money on it short term as if you're day trading it? Maybe, but I'm not interested in that stuff. I told you guys. For me, and this is my own personal choice. You guys all have your own personal choice too. No one's ever going to force you to do any particular thing with your money. But I could tell you that for me, it is gold and silver and real estate. And like, I see no reason right now to be anywhere else. I just don't. Why? Because the distrust of government, until the government comes out with the truth about what's happened to our money, what's been happening to our money, and where we go from here, I'm not doing anything except metal. And the reason for real estate is just simply for diversification. I have so much metal that, and I know this isn't for everybody, but I have so much metal that I think that I should diversify myself somewhere. And the only other thing that really makes sense to diversify into is real estate. Why? Because real estate, you could rent and get money from it. All the while, it's appreciating on the market. If you're smart and you buy in the right area, not all real estate appreciates, of course. But if you buy in the right area, like I have, I was in real estate sales for 17 years. I owned real estate companies. I owned mortgage companies. I owned title companies. I owned real estate schools. I own my own real estate brokerage. So I know what it is to buy in a certain area and not only collect, but also watch that asset appreciate over time where you could profit if the market takes a big jump, sell it and profit, or, just hang on to it and rent it, pass it down to your kids and have an income bearing asset. And that's just because I want to diversify away from metals. But if I'm diversifying away from metals, I'm not going to lobster. Come on, Why is Bitcoin going sky high? It's always brightest before the storm. Is that what they say? It's always calm before the storm. I heard that before somewhere. That I was in this room, maybe not. So, Bitcoin. The thing that bothers me about Bitcoin and lobster and the rest of them, except XRP. I have some XRP, but not enough to say, I have a lot of XRP. I'm not going to tell you how much, but XRP, from what I was told and from what I believe, will be the mechanism used for the quantum financial system. So I got a little bit of it, and the little bit that I got, if it goes to where I would anticipate it's going to go and where to some of the experts say it's going to go, I'm comfortable with what I would make on that. It was kind of like that thing with Tesla stock and with Bitcoin in the beginning. You guys, I don't know, I think I've said this many times on my show, but I bought Bitcoin when it was about $1,100 a coin. And then I sold it out at about 35,000. 30,000? Somewhere between 30 and 35,000. So I made some bank there. What sucks is I couldn't access those funds in 2021 because of my divorce situation with my ex. So I had to wait a while before I could do anything with that. And then when I finally did, I just threw it into gold and silver. So it's called, I don't know, parlaying, maybe? I don't know. Might not be. XLM, I don't know anything about XLM. I know that Whiplash is in a lot of legal trouble. Somebody just mentioned Whiplash and Lobster and whatever. Camera just blinked. Okay. Very small issue tonight. Very small issue. I notice my camera doesn't like when I make sudden movements. Like, watch this. And now, of course, it didn't do anything. So that's fun. Anyway, Whiplash was doing some sort of scheme that he or part of his whatever was asking for your login to your crypto account. I mean, I read the filing against that guy, and I think he's going to end up in prison. I mean, I'm not the one to make that call, obviously, but I think that the scam that went on there is a big scam. And I'm sorry, I know several of you have come to me and said, hey, I did this with Whiplash and I lost $8,000. One guy lost $8,000. Another one lost 13 grand. Somebody just the other day, just like this past week, another one lost $4,000. Listen, I don't message you. The guys down below in the chat, in the comments of Rumble, that's not me. I don't respond in comments saying, hey, please go to this channel. It's a great channel. Hey, look at this cryptocurrency. Hey, give me all your money. That's not me. So that's someone else pretending to be me. And it's dangerous because I have no way to police it other than having my moderators on Rumble and on Telegram and the other places that I have moderators delete those comments as quickly as possible. But sometimes we can't delete them all. You just can't respond to them. So anytime somebody sends down a comment down below in Rumble, it's also going to initiate an email if you have email notifications on. And in that email notification, it's going to, even if I delete it, like within 2 minutes of it being posted, it's still going to send you an email notification. You're going to be able to read what that poster said. And it's going to say, hey, it's Phil. Want some XRP? No, I don't. I don't want you to buy any XRP from me. I'm not selling any of it. I'm not encouraging you to buy any of it. Those are scammers. And one of the biggest ones I think that our movement has ever seen was Whiplash. So I don't, the things that I'm saying that I'm repeating are simply information that I've heard. Take it for what you will, but I would also be very careful because there are a lot of people in this following that have lost a lot of money to people like that. For those of you that are watching the replay on 2x speed, I wanted to slow down my voice to piss you off. Sorry, it was funny. It wasn't funny. I try to be funny. How's my pinky? That was this one. I banged it on this thing the other day. It's fine now. I just jammed it a little bit, but I don't know if you saw my pinkies. See the weirdness of my pinkies? See this one? How it's straight? And then that one looks like it's been through the ringer. See how it's like big right here? And it doesn't go completely straight like that one does? That was some basketball. was playing basketball, and someone passed me the ball in a it was actually, I think it was a high school game, I think. Somebody passed me the ball. I was wide open for a three. When I got the ball, I shot it no matter where I was, and I made it most of the time. I was actually a really good shooter. But I went to catch the ball, and I was wide open, and I knew I was going to make it. So I caught the ball here, but before I caught it, I kind of took my eye off it, and I already started rotating. And the ball came and hit like dead on this pinky finger. And this pinky at the knuckle bent that way. So I looked down, and instead of seeing this, I saw like this part of my pinky going that way at the knuckle. It was literally going backwards. Boy, what a freak out moment that is for a teenager. Whew! I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of reached down, and I'm like, oh no. And I put it back in, and I'm like, ah! But it worked. But ever since then, it looks like Frankenstein's pinky. It's really weird. You know, excuse me. You know what the other weird thing is? Even though that happened and it hurt so much, I still shot the ball and it still went in. That's the really weird thing. I don't know. Can we please get to Intel? I have to go to work. Go to work. See you later. What is going on with Julian Assange? Julian Assange, good things going on with Julian Assange. And keep in mind, Julian Assange, for those of you that don't know, Julian Assange was the head of WikiLeaks that is in prison now for whatever. And anybody could be in prison for anything that they want, because the cabal controls that. So, but Julian Assange has been an asset to our movement, to our anti-cabal movement for a very long time. And I anticipate that you're going to see a lot more of Julian Assange very soon. Good question. This is from D-Bay again, same asker as before. Is one of the many connections between President Trump and President Lincoln the Totten Doctrine? Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Sure is. I usually give a homework assignment during my lives. I think that's a good homework assignment. Look into that doctrine a little bit more and draw some comparisons, or just vet it out a little bit. Will SCOTUS overturn the election? SCOTUS has already overturned the election a long time ago, actually. And I think the thing that we're actually waiting on now is for all the stars to align for that decision to come down. What I did find interesting, though, was there was a video from, you know what? Why don't we just play it? Let me get it up here on the screen. Hold on one second. There it is. If I click that, yep, it's going to work. All right, hold on, Flynn. Don't be talking on the line. I would do presentation, share screen. Hopefully you guys could hear this. I'll turn it up as much as I could. There we go.
He doesn't know how that's going to happen. Wasn't speculating about exactly how something like that is going to happen, meaning, that the 2024 election doesn't occur. But that's pretty much what he said, was that he can see a scenario, as I can, a scenario that we don't have an election in 2024, that some other, and they call them black swans, some other black swan type event occurs, or maybe there's a couple of black swans.
You guys saw that okay? You guys saw that okay? Let me know if you saw that okay and heard that okay. I know the sound probably wasn't great. We can't see anything. You didn't see that? No, yes? What's this with the no, yes? You either did or didn't. No, you couldn't see that? You just heard it? Oh. Why wouldn't the video come up? That was super weird. Okay. Well, I'll share it again on Telegram. I did share it a couple days ago on Telegram, but I'll share it again. Basically, what it was General Flynn, here we go. General Flynn bad because Mike Gill said so. Mike Gill, I got news for you. You're going on the list too. You think you could just go to Twitter and say whatever you want about anyone without vetting anything? Well, you can't. So let's see you defend in court, because I'll see you there very soon. We just got to track you down, figure out who you are, where you are, and we're coming. So, but anyway, audio what? Audio only? Okay. As long as you heard it. Basically, that was General Flynn saying, somebody said, and I don't know who he was talking about, I can't really remember. Somebody said that they could envision a scenario which there is not a 2024 election for president. Where have I heard that before? Oh, it was me. That's right. And then he goes on to say that he could also envision a scenario where he doesn't see a 2024 election. And then he goes on to see that there may be a couple, and he said more than one, he said two, there may be a couple black swan events. Wow. Okay. Now you're speaking the language that I've been speaking, Mr. Flynn. Listen, just for the record, and I want to make this very abundantly clear, never, not once, have I ever said anything negative about Michael Flynn. Never. I've only ever said, what I have said was, I've only ever said, Trump trusts this guy, and he was almost vice president. And then after he was almost vice president, he was head of the NSA. Do you have any idea how important the NSA is? Any clue how important the NSA is? And Trump had to put somebody there. And Trump went to Flynn and said, you know what? I could put you as vice president, but if I do, I think I'm wasting your talents. I want to put you somewhere where you're going to make a difference. And guess what? That's what he did. And guess what Obama did? And the FBI and Comey's FBI, they got him out of there right away, didn't they? They tried him for treason. They wanted to kill him. That's how important he is. And then you got lunatics like Mike Gill and whoever else says, oh, Flynn bad. Flynn bad because I have the sources. No, you don't. You sound like a fool when you say that. You're not even looking at logic. Now, if Flynn turns out bad, I'll be the first one to say, oh, damn, how could that have happened? I'll be the first one to say that. I'll raise my hand and be like, boom, got that one wrong, guys. Sorry about it. But I have information that says General Flynn will be the next vice president of the United States because he needs to be a future president of the United States. That's what my intel says. So let's see how it works out. Let's see who's right and who's wrong. But you want to go ahead and you want to defame me because I disagree with you and I say that your line of rationale is wrong, go ahead, defame me. But see me in court because that's where you're going to go. That goes to you, Mike Gill. You know what? I'm feeling generous. I'm going to give you 72 hours to retract what you said about me on Twitter. 72 hours. That's it. Not a second more. It's 8 p.m. here on the East Coast. You got 72 hours. You got till Wednesday. You got till Wednesday to issue an apology and a retraction and a deletion. And I'm not messing around. Okay. Phil, have you ever sold art? No. I buy a lot of art. I mean, I got art like you do not believe. Art and memorabilia around this place like you do not believe. Vladimir Kush, one of my favorite artists. Me and Carrie, it's one of our favorite artists. Peter Lick, another one of our favorite artists. And then we had some local artists that we really liked in Hawaii, in the Lahaina area of Hawaii. We were lucky enough, Bill Weiland to be one of them. We were lucky enough to get some of their pieces before they all burned. So yeah, I'm not a seller of art, not at this time anyway. Although I did have appraisals done on all of our artwork, and it's worth a lot. I mean, we got some crazy pieces, really, really crazy pieces. Do you know the reason why they keep wanting to give Ukraine money? Is it blackmail? No, it's not blackmail. First of all, Ukraine is part of Russia. They're not their own country. They are within the limits of Russia. It's their territory. Okay. There's no borders been filed for Ukraine since like the 90s, I think like 1992 or something. So it's not its own country. Everybody wants to think so, and that's what the liars want you to think. But Ukraine is a giant money laundering operation. The United States puts money into Ukraine so the cabal could get it. And why does the cabal need that money? Because they're broke. They don't have anything left. So the only thing that they're able to function on is what they're getting from the United States government, which is just a fancy way to money launder. That's all Ukraine is used for. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with blackmail. It's not like the people in Ukraine are over there saying, hey, United States, give us money or we are going to expose you. No. The exposure, that's already been done, the exposure process. So it had nothing to do with that. It just has to do with funneling money to the cabal, because the cabal is really, really getting destroyed financially right now. Has been for a while. Is Oprah dead? No, Oprah's not dead. Was that post from Ezra real? I don't know what you're talking about. You got to give context when you talk about that, because I don't know what you're talking about. Ooh, there's Sarah Hops. I love her questions. Hops 8. Tonight you posted a lot of numbers in your post that equal 50. Did I? They all equaled 50? I probably didn't do that on purpose. I mean, I can't imagine a scenario in which I would do that on purpose. Could you? Anyway, tonight you posted a lot of numbers in your post that equaled 50. Were you referencing the 50 U.S. senators that were issued satellite phones for emergency communication? Well, first of all, they were issued satellite phones for emergency communication, but not all of them. Some of them, not all of them. What do I say? There's going to be a lot of senators that are no longer senators, like within weeks. And I mean a lot, way more than you would think. So yeah, the 50 had something to do with the senators, but not necessarily the connection you're trying to make between my words, the 50, and the senators. That's accurate, but it had nothing to do with the satellite phones. That is an anecdote to what you said. See how the camera glitched when I do that? I got to figure that out. Probably has something to do with frames per second. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just glad I'm live right now, because I didn't think this was going to happen. I was ready to start throwing things in here, and I'm not even violent. So something else there, Sarah, but good question. Simon Park says EBS reveals everything we're waiting for will never happen. It'll be just like the past 3.5 years of drip, drip, drip. No big financial crash, no military invention. Are you still convinced that the EBS scenario and that the 2024 November election won't happen as well? First of all, Simon Park said he slept with an alien. I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to say anything or pass judgment to Simon Parks at all, okay? But what I am saying is he said that he slept and I think maybe impregnated an alien. That's just what he said. I'm putting that on the table just for context, okay? So when he says he slept with an alien and impregnated that alien, this is also the same guy that says, oh, well, we shouldn't expect anything else to be done in the next 3.5 years because it didn't happen in the past 3.5 years. And because future proves past and past proves future. And I don't know how he speaks, but something like that, right? Same guy says he slept with an alien. So, I mean, if we want to like follow that and that's like our thing, okay. I mean, I guys, I don't listen to other truthers. So I don't know what context he said that in, but what I could tell you is that's just a bunch of shit. I think what happened somewhere along the line here is, and not just with, oh, sorry, I thought that said something else. Not just with Simon in this particular case, in the instant case, you're talking about Simon, but somewhere along the line, a certain number of truthers or citizen journalists or whatever said, you know what, nothing's happening here that we could see. So we're going to flip. And instead of saying what Phil says and what all these other guys say and all this stuff. We're going to take the opposite stance. And we're going to say what they're saying is wrong. And we're going to get our own following. This is all about following for them. It's not about anything else. It's not about the truth. It's not about any of that. It's about how could I gain people by saying what I say? How can I make a name for myself? So Simon and others, Bert Lynch is one of them. Bert Lynch, don't even get me started. I got to verify a couple things, but I'm thinking about doing an entire freaking show on Bert Lynch because I'm pissed. And Bert, if you're watching this, you got my attention. Keep doing that shit because I'm telling you right now, you're another one that give people like me a bad name. And I'm telling you right now, if I verify this stuff, I will not stop until you're in federal prison. I'm telling you right now, you better hope that what I found out isn't true. And I'm telling you right now, you better pray on it. Because I'm not happy. And don't message me ever again, by the way. Anyway, these people are going over on the other side and they're saying, whoa, wait a minute. These people over here have lots of followers, millions of views, making lots of money. And they're wrong. So we're going to be right. And we're going to start saying the other stuff. And we're going to take all those people because they're not believing those people anymore. So now they're ours. It's all about following. It has nothing to do with like intel or any of that. It's just a joke. I'm not going to say what Bert did. I'll get into that. I need to verify stuff. I don't just go on a hot mic and say what happened. But I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off. And I'm telling you right now, I am going to look deep into it. Deep. And it better not be true. It better not be true. I swear it better not be true. Who is Mike P? Nobody. Quite literally. Phil, do you believe the med beds will be released this year? I do, yeah. I actually thought they were going to be released last year. But I told you guys before, this whole thing is just taking it's almost like an octopus in itself. We talked about the octopus murders on Netflix. I am surprised so many people are watching tonight. You guys miss me or what? We got 27 million people right now. I think that's a lot considering, I don't know, maybe it's the new camera and the new microphone. My voice sounds so great on this thing. Don't talk so close. 6 inches to 12 inches. That's probably not it, right? Camera's looking a lot sexier though, right? That is a sexy image on the screen. You gotta admit. Not me. I'm just saying that too. But I'm just saying, like, you know, the whole thing is just a lot better. How did you know to get all that equipment? How did I know to get all that equipment? You mean like this stuff? I keep hitting my head on this. It's new, so I gotta get used to it. Friend of a friend of a friend. We love you. Love you too. Microphone is badass. Yeah, I can't wait to hear because all I hear is like what I normally hear. I gotta get a screen that goes around it, one of those wing guard things or whatever. Although it doesn't really need one. This thing was expensive, like very expensive. Not the $399, bullshit Yeti over there, and you pay extra because it's blacked out. Like this is like legit. So, what kind of microphone? Numismatic value? I don't know what it is. Someone in N. I can't read that. Come on, man. Is that really a question? Newman. Neumann. It's the Newman. Oh, look at that. Newman, greatest microphone ever made. That's what it says. I'm just kidding. But it is a Newman. When do we expect silver to the moon? I understand your question in the context that you're asking it because I was just talking about silver recently, but I want you guys to understand. When I answer questions like that, I'm not the one that determines that price. You know that, right? Like I'm not the silver guy that says, I'm going to type, and then boom, goes up. I'm the guy that listens to the guys that are really clever when it comes to metals. And boy, do I listen. Like I listen really, really closely and I listen religiously. and I try to see if what they're actually saying is accurate, or are they just blowing smoke, or what? Like, I don't just take their word for it. So I listen to what they say and I correlate it to something else that someone else differently said in a different part of the world, and they don't even know each other. They have no bias or they have no connection whatsoever. Then I formulate my own opinion based on all of that. Now, one of my primary people that I've always listened to was Big Square. Another thing, we're not going to talk too much about that because I'm going to get into that later. But another thing I want you guys to notice is all of the Patriot community is promoting gold and silver now. You notice how it was me first, before any of them, before Trump Jr., before Bongino, before X22, before Hannity, before any of those guys were on the RSBN has ads all the time on gold and silver, IRA rollovers and all that stuff. All those guys are doing it now, but I was doing it in 2020. And that's because it's not about, some sort of bandwagon advertisement thing. Like, maybe it is for others. Maybe it's not. Maybe they actually believe in the product too. Maybe. And quite likely in some cases. And I do believe in the product. And that's why I do it. And that's why I was doing it back then. That's why I'm doing it now. 7K Metals was introduced to you. Phil Silver was introduced to you guys. I didn't flip anybody off. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. If I threw up a middle finger, it's not because I meant to. I'm sorry. I would never do that. Narcissistic? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Not intentionally, though. I just talk because I like having fun, and I think things are funny, and like I try to be funny. I don't know if I am or if I'm not. But sometimes what I say, which I think is humorous, may come off as narcissistic. But it's not narcissist. I understand you guys want to say, oh, he's a narcissist. Stay away from the narcissist. And that's fine. Run with that theory all you want. But in reality, what I think I'm saying is either, in my mind, funny and I'm making fun of myself by saying it, or I'm trying to really get a point across that I'm so confident is accurate because of what I've seen and been through. I don't know if that makes sense. It should. I don't know if it does. I don't know. Bo Polony has been crying gold and silver for a long time. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the first one ever to say gold and silver. That guy, Japanese guy. Oh, man. Me and my attorney talk about this all the time. Kawasaki. Robert Kawasaki. Not Kawasaki. What's his name? So with a K and a Saki. Kawasaki? Is it Kawasaki? Come on, help me, chat. Robert Kiyosaki. Kiwan. What's this? What is it? Robert what? You're just saying Kawasaki. Kiyosaki. That's it. Kayosaki. Yeah, him. Yeah, he's been saying gold and silver for a long time too. So I'm not saying I was the first one ever. I'm just saying, like, in this movement, I started Phil Silver in 2021. We're in 24 now. I've been talking about that for years, and only recently, maybe within the last 12 months, have you seen it explode and people talking about it as they are now. So I'm not saying that makes me better or worse than anybody. It just shows you that I really, really believe in the product, and I think all the research that I've done and all the research that I've seen other people do and the connections that they've made to do it, I think really points to an incredible future for silver and gold. The videos that I just posted on Rumble, if you haven't watched them yet, I uploaded them. They weren't in a live stream. So you got to go to my channel and you have to go to my content. They're the last 2 or 3 videos that you'll see there. One was talking about numismatic coin value. The other one was talking about a breakout line for silver. You'll see a chart as the thumbnail for the video. Go to that and read it. Go to that and watch it, and you'll see why I think a lot of the things that I think. Kiyosaki. There we go. Kiyosaki. That's it. Kawasaki is my side-by-side. I got it confused. Kiyosaki. Yeah. Since the 90s. That's right. What about our Q phones? So little known thing about Q phones is that, careful here. This was an off-topic thing that I'm not allowed to talk about. Not an off-topic thing, but a forbidden topic thing. What could I say, though? Okay. You already have them. I can't get any more specific than that. I mean, it's not what you're thinking. So stew on that a little bit. I'll bring that up another time when it's appropriate and I'm able. Phil, can you comment on SG Anon? He is great with narrative, but also throws in intel. I think I only listened to SG Anon a couple times, and I think it was when people were telling everyone that it was me. It was like an alter ego of me. And I kept saying, it's not, but, you know, whatever. People didn't believe that. And then I think a lot of people thought it was Todd Collins for a while. I don't know where that came from either, because they said he sounds like him. I talk to Todd daily, and like he sounds nothing like Todd. So I don't know where that was coming from. Then he went on Scott McKay and he did the whole face reveal thing. So I only listened to him a couple times back then. I do agree that he has a nice way of presenting things. There's things that I think, I haven't watched the show recently, so maybe it changed, but there's things that I would probably do differently. As far as throwing in intel, I don't know of any of that to be true. I haven't heard. You'd have to give me a specific instance of where he threw in intel for me to comment on that, because I don't know about any of that. How many NDAs have you signed, Phil? Currently, or like in the past, like overall? Well, I'll give you both numbers. Geez. Maybe like overall, like 10 or 12 ish, somewhere in that area. Maybe like 8 to 12, somewhere in there. Currently, 4. But over the course of my career, there were more. And that's going back, 20 years, a little more than 20 years. Sorry, guys, my allergies are killing me, and I really need a tissue, and I don't have any, so I'm just going to keep picking my nose. It's fine. My kids do it, so what's the big deal? Oh, please, like you never picked your nose. Phil, will the end of this go beyond April? I'm not about the dates thing. I mean, I can't imagine that there's not a wrap up here soon, right? I can't see how there wouldn't be a wrap up here soon. I just can't understand how this could continue much longer. And it has nothing to do at this point with like diminishing returns. It's not about that. It's just really about we're getting too close to November. So like piss or get off the pot, because at some point you got to do something. I see that meme in my head right now where it's like the stick figure, the standing up stick figure with the stick, and it's like poking the thing. And it's like, do something. It's like us poking the military alliance. Now there's advice. Bellafiore 2921 says, pick your nose, just don't eat it. Okay. Now those are words to live by. It's killing me. Followers on DLive have questions? Okay. Oh, what on earth is that about? I don't know why it does that. It's aggravating. This is pretty stupid that I'm not logged in. Pick the pictures of motorcycles. Okay. I'm going to pick them and then you're going to tell me I'm wrong. Yep. Bicycles. So every freaking thing on the screen has a bicycle on it. Like literally all of that. Okay. I got that one right. Great. What's this here? Here's my... okay. That's from Mini Tink, my mod over there on DLive. Will this end by Easter, the day Christ has risen, and Trump will rise again also? You know, I got to give the same answer as I did before. I can't imagine that it goes on too much longer than what it is going on. I think it's pretty terrible that it's gone as long as it is. As far as Easter, possibly it could be tomorrow, guys. I don't know. There's no. It's not like I could limit it to a certain week or a certain date or a certain time frame. I just think that it's a shame, you know. It's just really a shame, and it's incredibly aggravating. Go back to DLive. Why is Darren Brunson hiding? He owns a shipping company. Is he hiding that? I knew that. I don't know who else knew it, but I knew that. I don't know if is that a hiding thing? Treasure chest? Yeah, I could open the chest. There's 3,000 lemons in the chest. We're going to release the chest, so you guys have 30 seconds. You could claim them right now on the channel if you're on DLive. And what's cool is the only thing you could do with those lemons is give them back to me. I'm just kidding. You can't eat them. They're digital lemons. So my comments tonight are obvious. Okay. Good. Let Jesse speak. No idea what that means. Sherry B 17, 291.8 lemons. Mini Tink, 168. TA Pink Lady, 121.7. Marcia Hone. Christine Ferguson, 81.2. Thank you, D-Livers. What's going on in Minnesota, my Jersey? Something's definitely going on in Minnesota, don't you think? Sherry B gets the most lemons because I think it has to do with how much you interact with the chat. So the more you interact in the chat, I think the DLive sees you interacting and like it gives you more. I think that's how it works anyway. That makes sense. But Sherry B's always talking in the DLive chat all day long, not just during live streams. And it also, I think, gives you more points or more credit if I'm live and you're interacting. It's pretty cool. Phil, where did that go? Phil, talk about what's happening tomorrow with the Fed and the banks. Listen, guys, I've been telling you that it's going down with the banks and the Fed for a long time. Long time. And if you're just noticing like the signs of that happening now for the first time, you really have missed out on what the narrative has been here, because that's nothing new. Like I don't know if you know this or not, and I've said it before, but I'm going to repeat it again. 2023 was actually the worst banking crisis in the history of the United States. More so than the financial crisis of 2008. You remember Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns. Worse. Everybody lost their houses. Everybody, the whole thing blew up. Well, that didn't happen immediately. That happened over time. What happened first was Lehman Brothers went down. Bear Stearns went down. We were trying to look for people to buy those companies at pennies on a dollar. And then people lost their houses and were kicked out. The bubble burst. That's exactly what's happening now. In fact, it started in 2023, except this one's going to be so much more vivid and have so much more of an effect that it's going to take longer. The rollout of it is going to take longer. So it's already started. Gene Ho is fantastic. I don't know what that's in response to, but yeah, I like Gene Ho. I think he's a great editor. He's perfect for George Magazine. And by the way, issue 7, the one that I was in, still the highest selling issue of all time in George Magazine history. Very, very proud of that. And that's because of you guys. Very proud of that. Is my thumb okay? Not really. No. I don't want to say it's broken, but I think it's severely sprained. Can you talk about the eclipses and how they are connected? In what context do you mean? Eclipses in general are a misnomer because they are eclipses, and it's what's happening is what they say is happening, but it's never the Earth passing through the sun's shadow or any of that. It's like the moon getting in the way of the sun because the Earth is flat. And then you got the luminaries up top in the sky, and they do pass each other sometimes. And it's visible from Earth in certain areas or whatever. What I do want you to look into, though, especially in the case of 2017, how big should that shadow have been? Should it have been only 75 or 78 miles? Because here's what we know about the distances according to the liars at NASA. The distance from the sun to the moon, from the Earth to the sun, 93 billion, whatever the hell, right? We know that distance, whatever the distance is, we know that. Distance from the Earth to the moon. We also know that distance. Distance from the moon to the sun. We know that distance. So if you know those distances, it will give you a very exact shadow that will be cast on the ground. Very exact. Because you know all 3 of those distances. In addition to the distances, another thing that you must know is the size of the moon and the size of the sun. Don't give me any penumbra bullshit. That is just bullshit. No one could explain the penumbra because it's bullshit. But if you know the 3 distances that I just mentioned and the sizes of the moon and the sun, it will give you an exact area on the ground that you should see the shadow. It's not like, oh, maybe there'll be a 100-mile shadow tomorrow, or maybe there'll be a 3,000-mile shadow. No, it's exact. The width of the shadow will be exact based on those distances. That is just called math. Like, there's not even a secret there. It's just math. So why in 2017 was the shadow only 78 miles? Shouldn't it have been like 2,800 miles or something like that? I can't remember the distances or the measurements, but it should have covered like half the United States. But yet it was just like this little strip. You had to go to like the certain towns, in the United States to see it because it was so small. Nope. That's not possible. I'm sorry. It's not. Don't like spit in my face and tell me, oh, that's the rain. Is that how that saying goes? Something like that. Something like that. But yeah, someone just said, you are fat. That must be Nick Alvear. Nick Alvear has a body complex, man. It's terrible. It's terrible, the body complex he has. He calls so many people fat. Like, I've seen him. He makes fun of Will Bird all the time. And he calls Will fat. And Will's like, yeah, I'm fat, so what? Look at you. You look like a girl. He says something like that. But he has a huge body complex. And like, he hates that he has those titties, the boobies, the man boobies. He hates that he has them. He does. So I think that's another reason why he like dislikes me, because when I'm reading stuff, I say boobies. Like, and somebody just made a comment right there, L Gladdy 2020. She said boobies, and I just said it, so Nick thinks I was talking about his boobies. And every other time I've ever said boobies in my live streams, Nick thinks that means his boobies, because he hates those boobies. If I'm fat with a PH, bitch. See what I did there? That was so stupid. Oh, man. That's it right there. Don't piss. Oh, man, I lost the comment. Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. What did I say? Piss in my eye and spit on my face? I said something real dumb. The eclipse is going to be biblical. I don't know, I guess. Are you a state national? Can you explain what that is? I'm not a state national. State national is, so there's different law that people believe in, constitutional law, and they believe that the actual laws that we're operating under is not what our laws are. So if you declare yourself a state national, and you could do that apparently, but if you do that, you're basically saying the laws of the land are what govern. And I may be have a couple of these things off because I'm not a state national, but I have no reason to be a state national. We'll get to that in the future, hopefully. But it's basically saying that the laws of the land are what govern and not the laws that the government puts in place. And those are two different sets of laws. So that's kind of it. And like people, you could look this up. People will go to court and say like, hey, I don't care what you're charging me with because you don't have the authority over me to, initiate those charges or to put those charges in place. You have no authority over me. Most of the time, those people end up in jail. So, and it kind of, when I was looking into, Nick has handsome man boobs. That is hilarious. That is the funniest thing. They're not handsome, are they? I don't know. I don't look at his boobs. I know he has the boobies, but I don't look at them. You guys are killing me tonight. Handsome man boobies. Wow, you're really a weird dork. You know what? Honestly, I've been called much worse than that. So I'm going to take that as a compliment. I've been called much worse than that recently. Is my nose situation a calm? No, my nose is just itchy. Really is. Am I Julie Green's brother? No. I'm not Julie Green's brother. Julie Green, some reason, stopped talking about me. I honestly, I've never once listened to one of Julie Green's shows, but everybody always came to my shows and my channels, and they would tell me, hey, Julie Green, highly recommends you, and she pulled your cards and whatever. Julie Green, for those of you that don't know, is a prophetic. She does the card thing where she puts them out, but lately she hasn't talked about me. I don't know if she's been influenced by all the defamation that's going on. It's possible, but everybody has a. Is Nick A Fed? No, Nick's not a Fed. No, Nick's just the guy. He's just the guy, and he's really dumb too. Who are you, and what is this show about? Who am I? That must be a new follower. Thank you for joining. What was your name there? Igor Tigor. Okay. Maybe your name's Igor. That's fine if it is. It's a cool name. 97. Igor Tigor, 97. Who are you and what is the show about? So my name is Phil Godlewski. I have a very interesting, mysterious background that I talk about sometimes, but not often. But what I do here is I hold shows like this and I talk about lots of different things. I talk about, oh, that's not Julie. She's a prophet. She doesn't do cards. Okay. I was making a mistake then. Anyway, I talk about a lot of things. I talk about politics going around the world. I talk about government corruption, cover-ups. I talk about conspiracies, which are actually true and not the derogatory term of conspiracy associated with them. I try to put people in good positions in terms of the actual news that's happening around the world. I do my best on that. I'm not perfect at it, but I do my very best based on the sources that I have. I do have one very, very high up, very good source that I've had for most of my life. We're really good friends, and he's up there. I mean, he's really, really up there in the chain of things. The one guy that I get most of my intel from is that person who I've never actually revealed, and I won't. But that's what I do. And I hate the government. I think the government has corrupted humanity our whole life. I think we're nothing but slaves. I think we sit here and right now we're nothing but slaves to a system that only wants us deeper in debt. I think that same system wants us to hate each other through racism, through homophobia, through different religious beliefs. And I think it's disgusting. And I hate what the world is right now. And I do my best every single day to try to change it. And I'm only one person, but the more I speak, the more people that follow me. And us together, we are unstoppable. We're unstoppable because we have the numbers and they don't. So that's what I do. There's a lot more too. You're going to hear some really bad things about me that circulate because of what I just said. You're going to hear a lot of bad things come out about me that are not true, but are represented in a certain way that make them look true. And anybody could do that with anyone. If we dug into any of your pasts and I picked a certain thing that you may or may not have done, maybe you were accused of it, maybe you weren't, whatever, I could dig into that and represent those things a certain way that makes it look like you are really, really scummy. Anyone could do that. That's what they call dishonesty. That's what they call a psyop. That's what they call a controlled opposition. There's so many different words for it. Anyone could do that to anyone. It happens to me a lot because I sit here and I tell you guys what's actually happening behind the scenes, and the other side hates that. By the way, if you're watching this broadcast right now on Rumble, please give it the thumbs up. And just case in point, you'll see the disparagement with the thumbs up and the thumbs down on Rumble. It's usually 99% thumbs ups, 1% or less thumbs downs, every single video. Go back if you don't believe me and look. I do sponsorships. I read ads while I'm here. It's how I make a living. I start companies that I try to put my audience in the best possible position for, whether it's a gold and silver company like I've done a couple different times. I have a couple of those. Or if it's a health company to try to make yourself healthier. And also while doing both of those things, still make money on the side, like a gig job to get out of the typical 9-to-5 job. I have various companies that I've started that do that for people. And because those companies were so successful, I have been incredibly successful financially. And a lot of people want to point to me and say, oh, well, he's a scumbag. He took all your money. Well, no, not really. I never got paid from you guys. I get paid from my advertisers and my sponsors. So that's who I am. Great question. I love talking about myself, as you can see. I try to be funny, and I never am. So that's just a fault of mine, for sure. But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone out there could actually say that Phil has made my life worse, and here's how. I think if you look at the things that I have done historically over the last 4 years, it has done nothing but help people in one way or another, whether it means I just sit here and answer your questions, or I put you on a stem cell patch that helps you get healthier. And if you sign people up for it, it also makes you money, or I've helped you stack gold and silver over the years, roll over a 401k or an IRA. I've done so many things. I've even started a platform called Philizon, in which you could take your business, your small business, and advertise to other patriots. Philizon has helped tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of patriots over the last 3 or 4 years now. It's not like Amazon, a lot bigger, but it's Philizon. It's our thing, you know? It's cheap. I make money off of it, but the people make money off of it too. Buyers could go there for free and search Patriot owners, other patriots that own companies, and sellers could go there and pay a small fee to advertise your business. Could be any business. There's no conflicting business at all that can't go on Philizon. It's philizon.com, by the way. Speaking of sponsors, I have another one for tonight that I want to mention, and that is, what did we talk about first? We talked about Tax Network, right? Let's talk about TAC-Right. TAC-Right's back. The night vision goggles. These goggles are amazing. I actually got a few of them that I gave out this past holiday for Christmas gifts. They have onboard HD cameras capturing the night secrets. If it's pitch black outside, you can see exactly what's going on at all times. These things are military grade. They're amazing. Live video recording. You could, while you're out there viewing all that nocturnal stuff, you could record your video, upload it to your camera, to your iPhone, to your device. Waterproof design, powerful infrared illumination, navigating the unseen, ultra long range distance. You could scout outside beyond the ordinary limits of the actual, the regular camera. And it has built-in SD card integration, so you could save absolutely everything you're doing out there and either upload it or take that SD card and put it into another one of your devices and save it. So that's TAC-Right, TACRightPhil.com, TACRIGHT, Phil, me, tackrightphil.com. This one says Matt D Hart 641. This guy is so full of shit. She was 15, bro. You're right. She was 15, and she also lied. She was a liar, and she nearly ruined my life. And if I wasn't persistent in exposing that lie, I'd be in prison. But guess what? I'm not. Here I am. You know why? Because I proved that she lied. And I proved it in 2009, and I'm going to prove it again in 2024. And people like you, Matt, you could just sit there in your chair and pound sand for, I forgot about my thumb. I really don't like you now, Matt. I didn't like you before, but now I hate you more. Oh, I just saw stars. Oh, my Lord, did that hurt me in so many ways. I'm fine. It's real good. The color's coming back to my face. Anyway, Matt, go pound sand. This time I'm not going to hit myself. Ow. Damn it. Anyway, next question, please. I saw some Rumble rants over there. Let me get to those. Sarah Hops. Oh, crap. There's a bunch of them. Deutsche Bank on 60th Street. Deutsche Bank Center is also on Columbus Circle. Former name was AOL Time Warner Center, Warner Media. Who owns AT&T? Did you happen to visit an AT&T in New York? I most certainly did, Sarah. I happened to visit an AT&T in New York, and we had to do some stuff there, and stuff was done. Let's just say that. Just got here. Is anybody talking about the goat in the room? Do we need to decode that video? There's a couple little comms in there, little ones. If you want to go and look at them, I got no problem with that. But the fact remains that here I am, and there it is. And he's never going to recover from this one. That's what they said. You see, he's going down. He's never going to recover from this one. Okay. You know what to do? You know what? Here's the thing. So, like, give me that. I love that. I love it. I take those statements and I take those words and I throw it into this mechanism that's up here, and like, whew, action comes out of me, and suddenly it blows up. I love it. Keep the doubting. Keep that and keep throwing it at me, because I love taking them and I love seeing your reactions when I prove you wrong. I love it. It's like the number one thing in my life that I love to do is somebody tells me, no, you can't do that, or no, you're finished now, or no, you're not what you say you are, or no, just keep giving it to me. Keep it. I love it. It's what motivates me and what brings me back here to do this. You know that? Not only do I love helping my audience, that's first and foremost, but I love when you doubt me. Man, I love it. I love it. I thrive on it. It oozes out of my being when you say that I can't do it, or you won't do it, or you're going down, or he's never going to recover. Love it. I love it. It's just so motivating. It's the most motivation anyone could ever get. And if someone, here's the point. If somebody does that to you, use it. It is ammo. It is ammunition. Use it. Use it and propel yourself to lengths that you've never gone to before. Use it. And if you could learn to use it and harness the negativity and turn it into a positive result, you are unstoppable. Unstoppable. This is water, by the way. I'm not drunk. I don't drink. I never drank. I did drink 21, 25. Between those years, I was, you're 21. Hey, let's go to a bar. But now it's just like, oh man, like I'd rather die in a fire than drink a beer. Honestly, I would. Oh, those Rumble rants. You mentioned Minnesota. Should we be watching Governor Tim Walz and House Representative Omar? Yep. There's a guy on Stories Wars. Dave. He's the Yep guy. So like whenever you wanted to bid on an item, and whenever, you know, like you have to bid, raise your hand, do a thing, whatever. I'm in now. He will, yep. And boy, did people hate it. And like they'd look back at him like, oh, will you please not do that anymore? Could you just bid normally? And Dave's like, ha ha ha. It was great to watch. So he had a big old yep in honor of Dave to that question. Where'd that one go? Did Wisconsin really overturn the 2020 election? So for their state they did, but other turnovers were Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin. I'm drawing a blank. Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia. Sorry. What happened there? I got the man boobs on my mind. I can't stop thinking of the man boobies. Nick running around the Capitol with his boobies on. Like, yeah, this seems like a good spot to smoke a joint. Okay. Don't worry about the federal trespassing or anything. Just smoke weed there. Cool. I was supposed to go. You guys know that? I was supposed to go to the January 6th. I definitely would have been one that was in jail for like 3 years for stuff. That would have been me, no doubt. So I got some really good advice the night before. I was going. We had a caravan going down. Me and a couple other friends, so to speak, from Pennsylvania. A couple were from Jersey. We were going to get a caravan, meet down. One of my friends lives in York, Pennsylvania, which is south of me. So we are going to all meet there and then caravan down to Washington. And the night before, I got a call that said, hey, if you're going, you need to do a couple things. And this was not a call from like a friend. This was a call to somebody that knew me, and we knew common people. So the call was unexpected, and the call was not anything that I would expect to come. In fact, when I knew who it was that called me, I'm like, holy shit, they're calling me? So he said, hey, somebody told me you're going down there. You would be a good one to tell because, you know, I have reach to you because we know common people. If you're going down there, take a camera or your camera or a video camera or both and take a lot of photos from a lot of different angles in a lot of different places. And don't ask me why I'm telling you to do that, but take a lot of photos and take a lot of angles and take a lot of video. So I didn't go. I'm just like, nope. Nope, not gonna take any photos. No videos. I'll tell my friends, and they did, by the way. They took a lot of those photos. But yeah. Nope, didn't go. Especially coming from that person. That was a senator. There we go. That's all I'm gonna say. That was a senator that told me that. A senator of Pennsylvania. Am I gonna tell you who? Yeah. Nope, not interested. But yeah, man boobies went down. He's like, yeah, we'll go. Let's go to the Capitol, man. And like he did the thing. Is that how you smoke? I don't know. I don't do that. You were there? Lily Liberty 2020, you were there? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being there. Trump was there too. But the people that went in and like, I mean, if I were there, once I saw people starting to commit vandalism to the Capitol, you're no longer there in protest. You're there to do other things. So I fully supported the peaceful demonstration on January 6th. I thought what happened on January 6th was abhorrent. Pence, I reported on January 6th that Mike Pence was reported to be arrested for what he did. And I stand by that to this day. I do believe that he was arrested that day by special forces. Military intelligence and maybe even NSA or I don't know, but yeah. Oh, I had a couple more over there that I forgot about. Yep. Shit, did I lose them? That's not fair if I did. That's stupid. Why do they disappear? That's stupid. I got to talk to Rumble about that. I don't like that at all. Who's this one? See, here's another one. I told you about these guys. They're trying to like sell you a Telegram channel and like follow me here. I have the goods. Whatever. No, it wasn't Governor Wolf. No. Italian grandma says it was Wolf. He was setting you up. He's such a scumbag. No, it wasn't Wolf. It was a senator. And I think that he told me that not because he was trying to set me up. I think he told me that because he knew what was happening. This was a reverse false flag, what happened on January 6th. The bad guys planned it, right? Planned to frame Trump by saying, hey, these insurrectionists, da da da. The bad guys planned it, but the good guys knew about the plan. And the good guys allowed the plan to take place. You know why? Because it's treason. It's treason. Treason. I have a great singing voice. A lot of people tell me that. I don't think that. I don't think that myself. But a lot of people tell, no, it wasn't Fetterman. He wasn't even elected back then. A lot of people tell me about my singing voice. I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is so many people that are unrelated to each other tell me, Phil, when you sing treason, I even have my own microphone. So how can I not be? But what I'm saying is, how could they all be lying at the same time? Can't be. Mathematically impossible. So must mean that maybe my voice is good. I don't know. I'm asking you. You tell me. You tell me. And what you tell me is that, yeah, great voice. Will you please do a live town hall in Berks County, Pennsylvania? Ooh, that'd be fun. I'd have to see what the turnout would be. I don't want to go down, to down there and then have like 3 people show up. Wouldn't that be shouldn't I just do a live and have millions of others show up too? I wouldn't be opposed to doing like live events like that though. I haven't done them yet because I want to be considered not only famous and also handsome, but I also want to be considered right about what was supposed to happen with the devolution of government and the continuity of government and everything that we talked about. I want that day to come. And then once that day comes, we are partying. I'm literally, I almost booked out an entire cruise ship. Let me say that again. I almost booked out an entire cruise ship for us. And I was going to give it away for like a small amount of money. I was going to recover some money, but I was going to give the tickets away for like stupid amount of money. You still have to buy them, but it was very affordable kind of thing. Where I was taking the majority of the hit, but at least was getting a little bit back. Because it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. But it only would have been for us. And that's not off the table yet. It's just, I don't want to do that until like it's going down. You know what I mean? That song in my head again. You guys hated that song. Come on. Did you listen to the words? What do you think? A song is all about a song? It's not. So an artesian well constantly runs. Do you know that? It's just always going, never stops. It's pretty cool. Artesian. Marty Flynn. Your singing's okay, but not GOAT? That means not greatest of all singers, like greatest of all time singers. That means greatest of all truthers. T. GOAT. Can I speak briefly about the QFS? Sure, why not? This whole time thing is messing me up, but with 2 hours and 10 minutes, I feel like I've been here for 10 minutes. QFS is a new financial system. It's called the quantum financial system. And the quantum financial system is going to replace the system that's currently been in place for a couple hundred years now. And that is the fiat dollar. So the dollars that you see up here on the wall, those are actually gold certificates, by the way. But I got them because it doesn't matter. But that whole system is going to be no more. So that dollar right now is backed by the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is owned by the cabal and other banking systems worldwide known as the central banking system. Other banking systems worldwide are also going to be switching over to the quantum financial system. So right now, the Federal Reserve, which is based in the United States, and other central banks worldwide, you got the Central Bank of Canada, Central Bank of England, Central Bank of India, Central Bank of Brazil, all of those central banks are owned by one family, the Rothschilds. Now, there used to be other families involved in it. JP Morgan used to be one of them. Prescott Bush, the Bush family used to be one of them. Those people all went in their own separate directions, and there were more than that. But they all went on their separate directions. Bush went into politics, and his sons, obviously, we know of them. Prescott was the father and grandfather of the Bushes that were most recent. He's a bad man, really bad. We're gonna talk about him in another day. But regardless, that central banking system is now owned by one family. It used to be the Rockefellers, used to be the Bushes, used to be the Morgans, and the Rothschilds. But the Rothschilds own it now. So when you hear Federal Reserve, that's bullshit. There's no federal. There's nothing federal. Their job, though, is to do this. For every dollar that's in circulation, whether it be in Canada, Brazil, India, anywhere, any dollar, any currency, I shouldn't say dollar, but any note that is considered currency in any of those places, that central bank has to back up that note with an equal note. So let's just, for purposes of clarity, use the United States as an example. Let's say at any given time, there's $300 trillion in circulation in the United States. That's under your mattress. That's in your bank. That's in asset, anywhere in circulation that you could actually spend it. If there's $300 trillion in circulation, this is the question, what happens if that money goes poof? What happens if it all just disappears one day? We don't know why it disappeared, but it did. What happens then? I don't know what happens. The Federal Reserve, because it's a reserve, they back it up. They back up that currency. So they replace it. They replace all that money. That's what the Federal Reserve does. Sounds great, doesn't it? Except it's untrue. They don't do that. And you know who regulates the Federal Reserve? Nobody. You know who regulates the central banking system? You think they ever got audited? Say, hey, you know what, guys? Hey, you over there in the central banking system, Mr. Jacob the Rothschild. We currently have in the United States $327,956,419,132,456 in circulation in the United States. Can you show us what you have? Because you have to match it. You think anybody ever went up to Jacob Rothschild and said that shit? Nope. So it's not a reserve. It's also not federal. The people that own the Federal Reserve in the United States aren't from the United States. They're foreign. They're foreign investors. And John Jacob Astor, he tried to stop this, and a couple other rich guys back before, they were supposed to go on a boat trip, and after the boat trip, they were going to squash the Federal Reserve from ever coming into existence, but, their boat sank. Oh, it hit an iceberg, by the way. Yeah, and all three of those guys that were the opposition to the Federal Reserve died. Yep. How convenient. How convenient that was. And then the Federal Reserve went into place, and all these notes, these gold notes. So that paper used to say, hey, if you have one of these notes, you are entitled to X amount of ounces of gold. That's called the gold certificate. You guys probably also know the silver certificates, right? Okay. Federal Reserve came in and said, no, we don't need that gold or silver anymore. We got the money ourselves. We could back up your currency. You know what they did? They started wars, and they gave loans, and the interest was always so overwhelming that no one could ever get out from under it. Not any country, not any government, not any citizen. How much debt do you owe right now? Don't put it in the chat. Hypothetical question. But put that number in your mind. Round it off. It doesn't have to be perfect. Count your mortgage. Count your credit cards. Count your car notes, student loans. You know why? Because all the people you pay that interest to is the central banking system. And then on top of the interest that the central banks get for all those things, your bank charges you what's called points on top of it. So did you ever hear prime plus 1, prime plus 1.5, prime plus 2, whatever? Prime is what the banks get charged. So your local bank gets charged prime. That goes to the central banking system. It doesn't go to the country. It doesn't go to your country. Your country never touches that money. Ever. None of it. How about your taxes? We talked about taxes earlier today. How about your taxes? You think you pay your taxes and it's your civic duty to pay your taxes. It's not a civic duty. The taxes that you're paying is going to the same central banking system, which doesn't even go to your country. They're literally reaching in your pocket when you pay taxes and taking your money from you so they could have it. What world are we living in? You remember slaves before Lincoln? How the people down south had these slaves and they were black, and they worked for the plantation owner or for whoever it was that had the slaves. And then Lincoln came around, Gettysburg, freed the slaves, blah, 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 right? Those slaves, although they worked, and trust me, I'm not downplaying slavery, but those slaves, although they worked for their owners, they were given meals and housing. How much different is that than what we do today? Now, it's not a racial thing today, but you go to work, right? You work 8 hours a day. You have taxes taken out of your check. Okay. All right. Income taxes, right? And if you don't pay them, the IRS comes, the Internal Revenue Service. Well, who owns that? The government, right? The government? No. The IRS is just a collection unit of the Federal Reserve in the United States, and every other country has the same thing too. Did you ever look up the intricacies behind paying taxes? Did you ever see a word that starts with a V? What's that word? Starts with a V. Not vendetta. Oh, what's that word that calls with a V in regards to taxes? They say, come on, somebody help me out. I know what it is, but I want you guys to get it. What's that thing when they call taxes a certain thing? In fact, it's written that way in the Constitution. What does it say about taxes? Oh, they're V. What's the word? Not illegal. No, that don't start with a V. There, look at that. Patriot Dawn, I think was that name. First one to get it there. Oh, no, you were like third, but I'm going to shout you out anyway. Patriot Dawn. Voluntary. Taxes are voluntary? Then why do we pay them? I'm just a guy here in front of a microphone. Just say it if they say that they're voluntary. But we have to pay them every year, right? Because we got to do our civic duty to make our streets and our bridges better. No, that has nothing to do with your income taxes. Income taxes are theft. We're working at a job for someone, whoever it is. Who do you work for? Hypothetical. Don't put it in the chat. Who do you work for? You work for them, right? You go to work and you earn a wage. And your employer has to pay payroll taxes for you. Those payroll taxes go to the central bank. Okay? So now Rothschild's just got their money, your employer. You work for your employer and you get charged taxes too. Those are called income taxes. They go to the central bank as well. That just went to Jacob Rothschild. Okay, and his family, he's got a lot of family. Okay? Anyone look into tax code 601, 602? Just want to throw that out there. Anyway, it's all this tax. And then you need a house to live in, right? So the wages that you're earning from your employer that you're working so hard for every day, and a lot of times you need 2 jobs, go to your mortgage, right? So your after-tax dollars is all you have left to pay your mortgage, but there's interest on that mortgage. So the first 15, 20 years of your 30-year mortgage, you don't even see the balance go down very much, do you? Because it's front-loaded with interest. You know why? They don't want you to get sick of that house and not pay them their interest. They want their interest up front before you decide to move. What's the average length that a homeowner stays in a home? Anyone know as of 2024? I know. 5 to 7 years. So you buy a house for $200,000 and 5 to 7 years later you owe $190,000. How could that be? If you're making $2,000 payments a month, that's $24,000 a year, and 5 years later, that should be well over $100,000, right? Wrong. You still owe $190,000. Why? Because your mortgage was front-loaded with interest. So not only are you paying your mortgage with money that you already taxed on, by the time you go to pay your mortgage, you're paying more tax, except this time it's called interest. So they make a fancy word because they don't want to call it the same thing. Because God forbid you realize that your money's going to the same people that aren't even from America, right? So now you lost money on your income taxes. So did your employer, by the way. Totally different story on that side of the fence. But after you lost money on your income taxes, you went to pay your mortgage and you paid mostly tax. So the house that you're living in, you own it, but really you're a slave of the system because you're paying tax to this global entity, right? By the way, do you drive? Did you buy a car cash? Probably not, right? You know, the average car note is like 9%. So not only do you need to get to work to pay that tax, but you also need a car to get to work. So you're going to go take a loan on a car, and it's going to be about 9-10%, right? Some of them much higher than that, actually. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So when you go to make that payment, which is also front-loaded, by the way, with interest, do you know that that payment goes to the central banking system as well? So now you got your income tax, your employer's income tax, your mortgage rate, which is not called taxes anymore, but it's called interest, your car note interest, which is also, by the way, goes to the same place still, you know what I mean? How about your student loan? Did you earn a degree? Did you go to college and own a degree? Did you pay for that college out of pocket? Lucky you if you did, right? Your parents put you in a good spot. Maybe you saved up some money from working so hard. Okay. You got student loans? Oh, low interest rate on those, right? They do forbearance and all that. It's great. Biden's going to forgive them. Okay, great. You know who that interest goes to? Yeah, the same entity. It's the same people. Jacob Rothschild. Same people. Isn't it lovely? Oh, by the way, did you buy an investment property? You were lucky enough. You earned a great living. So you bought an investment property. You got this fancy house and that's that. But you figured, you know what? You got a little bit of extra money. Maybe you inherited the money from your parents when they passed away, your grandparents maybe. You inherited it. Before we get into that, if you did inherit money, do you know that you have to pay inheritance tax? So if somebody left you, let's say $200,000, you have to pay inheritance tax on that. You don't get the 200, you're going to end up with it maybe 140 or so, $60,000 right out the door. Why? Your family wanted to leave you money, but you have to pay inheritance tax. Interesting. Who's that tax go to? Yeah, you're right. Same entity. It's the same people. The same people that got your mortgage, your income tax, your credit card loans. By the way, you have credit cards? Most of us do, right? You know who that interest goes to? That's right. You got it. You guys get good at this. The same people. Central banking system. Now, after you got that inheritance and you paid the inheritance tax, you bought an income property, something that you wanted to put tenants in. Great deal, right? You're getting an extra couple $1,000s a month in rent. Hang on to that for, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, whatever. And then you sell it because the market went up. You're like, hey, you know, I only bought that for $150,000 with that $160 that I got after I paid inheritance tax on my inheritance. I only paid like $150, $140 for that. Now it's worth $250,000. Cool. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna make that profit. Hold on a minute. Nope. Not so fast. You, sir, have to pay capital gains tax. Listen, I'm not making this up. Go look it up yourself. When do you not get everything is taxed? And you know what's sad about the tax? Here's what's sad about the tax. It goes to the same people. It's the same people that get your money all the time, no matter what. We're idiots. We're dumb. We live here and we're like, I got to make my mortgage payment. I got to make my tax payment. It's almost April 15th. Let's make my tax payment. I'm going to buy an income property and I'm going to sell it. And then they're going to take 38% of my profit. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Do you think you're not a slave? I got news for you. You're a slave. What? You know what? Let me dumb it down even more. You are probably in a worse position than a lot of slaves were. And I'm talking about the slaves pre-Lincoln. It's amazing. It's amazing how we don't even know A lot of you, the millions that are watching right now, didn't know that all of that tax goes to the same place. You think that's going to your government to make your country better, to solidify your military, to keep your borders strong? You think it's going to give better educational systems to your kids? You think that money's going to better bridges and better transportation? How many of you drive down the road, hit a pothole, and ruin your rim? Now you got to use your post-tax money to buy a new rim for your car. Anybody helping you out with that? No, they're not. I don't give a shit, because the money's not actually going to your municipality or your state, or it's not going to anything federal anyway. It's just going to freaking taxes or interest. And it's lining one person's pocket. Well, a family's pocket, the Rothschilds. What do the Rothschilds do with that money? Well, they suppress technology from us. And by the way, I know you got that mortgage payment on your house, but how do you have light? What do? Burn a fire? Do you burn a fire in your house for heat? Do you burn a fire for light? You have lanterns, hanging around with little lanterns going around? You do that? No, you pay electricity bills, right? Okay. So you have an electric bill every month, $100, $200, depending on the size of your house, whatever it is, right? What if I told you that electricity was free? How many bills over the course of your life have you paid that's either electricity or heat? Can you put that number in your mind? Average it out. Let's say for both of those, for heat and electric, you pay $200 a month. All right, it's $2,400 a year. How long have you been paying that? 20 years, 30 years, 50 years? What if I told you that all of those payments that each and every one of you have to make every day to have the lights on are just going to, wait, hold on. You guessed it, the Rothschilds. Do you know why? Because they own those power companies. They own those electricity companies. All of your utility bills are, do you ever hear of free energy? You know what they did to Tesla? Same people. They're taking your money. Not only are we slaves, but we're the dumbest slaves ever. At least the slaves back then, pre-Lincoln, knew they were slaves. Most of us walk around thinking, yeah, I made my mortgage payment this month, did my civic duty and paid those taxes. Yeah, I got really high credit limits. I got a $5,000 credit limit on my card from American Express. I'm just going to charge that new pair of Nikes. And by the way, make sure you pay the tax on those Nikes too. Yep. Got to pay those taxes. Got to pay them. Got to pay them though. Okay, what happens if they don't pay it? They're going to reach into your ownership of your property, and they're going to put a lien on your property. Oh, by the way, don't lie on your taxes. Man, you lie on your taxes, you know what they're going to do? They're going to throw you in jail. The IRS. Biden wants to give them all guns. And I know you had no choice. People lighten up the chat here. We had no choice. What were we supposed to do? I get it. I know you didn't have a choice. I get that. I'm not saying I'm not saying, what were you going to do? Not pay your light bill and not have light or heat? I get that. I get it. But don't be ignorant of the fact that it's happening. And I'm not saying you are ignorant of the fact, but know why people like me sit in this chair every night. I hate them. And then the most educated of us, the ones with the highest intelligence, right? They teach us that it's your civic duty to pay your taxes. They teach us that anyone in opposition to that is an insurrectionist. The years of my life I wasted listening to their bullshit. Want to know what gets me up in the morning? In addition to my kids, teaching each and every one of you that this is happening right in front of your face. it's not just taxes, it's interest. Any interest you pay. Yeah, the credit card company, they make a little bit. Discover, Chase, whoever, they make a little bit, but they make some on top of what they pay out. So you got a 10, 15% credit card interest rate. Oh, the introductory rate is $9.99. But yeah, if you do a balance transfer, we'll give you another. And then they smack you at the end. It's like 20%, 27%, who knows? That's what keeps me up every day. Teaching each and every one of you how we've been so manipulated and lied to. And then they want you on drugs. Because if you're on drugs, whether it's pharmaceutical drugs or illegal drugs on the streets, they don't care. They want you on them. That's why they do nothing to regulate that, very little to regulate the use of drugs. They want you on drugs because the more you're on drugs, the more you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't have to pay my taxes. You know what I mean? You're like a zombie floating around, just giving them more money. And what do they do with that money? Well, they steal elections. They suppress technology. They don't let you know about that free energy. Nope. They're going to bury our previous civilizations in this world. They just bury them. They just rewrite history to whatever they like, to whatever fits their narrative. They reverse engineer the Earth, the theory of Earth and everything. They literally went backwards to try to make everything fit what actually exists on this planet. Now, they got a lot of it wrong, but they do that because if you know that they've been lying about that, and this is why everyone says, and this is a common thing that I hear quite often actually in my following, who cares about the shape of the Earth? I don't care if it's round or flat. Oh, yes, you do. Let me tell you why. Because if it's flat, there's a problem. And it's not about getting to the edge and any of that. If it's flat, that means they've been lying about a couple things at least. Number one, God. Okay, let's start with that. Number two, if it's flat, that means that all of the things that the flat earthers have been talking about, in particular, free energy, have existed. Now, if energy is free, what are we paying for? And then when we dig into that a little bit, who are we paying it to? And what are they doing with that money? And wait a minute, if they lied about the shape of the earth and the fact that energy and electricity is actually free, what else are they lying about? And then you start looking and you start thinking. And then people like me and you start getting on the same page. And then when we do get on that same page, we convince others that we're right and they need to wake up from their nappy. And then when we start building a following, and it just keeps growing little bit. And then we take advantage of their systems, such as social media and live streaming and all of this stuff. We take advantage of their own systems and we start using those systems to our advantage to wake up even more people. Before you know it, Phil Godlewski is sitting there with 30 million people listening to him talk all at the same time. I'll call you right back. And that's dangerous. So you know what they do? He's a pedophile. He rapes children. She was 15, dude. He's a pedophile. Don't listen to a word he says. How could he be credible? He's a pedophile. How could you listen to him? Shame on you. You're a pedophile supporter. Don't listen to a word he says. The court docs prove it. Watch my film. Pay $7.77. Not this time. That may have worked in years past. Don't work anymore, though. People could see now. We actually have finally opened up our eyes. Are we perfect yet? No, we're not perfect yet, but boy, are we on that pathway to perfect. So no one's going to tell anybody what they can or cannot do or who they can or cannot watch, or what they do or do not believe. No one's going to do that anymore. Okay? So if the people watching me want to watch me and listen to me, do their own research, and great. Great. And here's what is not going to happen. They're not going to listen to the controlled opposition on the other side, which says, Phil bad, Flynn bad, Trump bad. Not anymore. Not anymore. They're going to make their own decisions and use their own discernment and not your discernment or the cabal's discernment. And by the way, you hear me say the word cabal quite a bit? This global force that collects all your money and then uses it against you to control what you know and what you think and how you act and where you work and why you work and the things that you buy and the things that you see on television and the things that you believe, and just has this total control over you at all times. This slave owner, so to speak, of humanity. They're the ones that don't want you to listen to me. But you're too smart for that. Because we're awake. That was a very long live, but I enjoyed the end of it. Here's what I want you guys to do. If you could do me a favor, I want you guys over the next few days until I go live again on Tuesday, next couple days, all day tomorrow and all day Tuesday. I want you one time, just one time, when you see somebody you don't know, a stranger, could be in a gas station, grocery store, somebody walking their dog down the street, whatever it may be. When you see that stranger, I want you to look at the stranger, wait until they make eye contact with you, smile, and say hello. Hi, how are you? Something like that. With a smile on your face. You don't have to stop and talk to them. Not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to brighten someone's day. Smile at them. Smile at them and let them know you're okay. You know what that's going to do? It's going to let them know that they're okay. Do that. Watch how much better you feel. And what you'll never know is how much better you make them feel. But I can tell you that you will. And that's important. And why is that important? Because it's who we are. Stop listening to this tutorial about how you should be and what you are and who they think you are and all that. Do you. Smile at somebody. Make their day. Make your own day. Do it between now and Tuesday. And I guarantee you, if you start doing that more often, it could be once a week, could be a couple times a week, could be once a month. But the more you do it, you're going to see your life change. Look at that person like you've known them forever. Smile and say, hi, how are you? Just like that. Keep walking, doing your own thing. Maybe they smile back. Maybe they say hello back. Maybe they just keep walking. Doesn't matter. But you know what they're going to think? They're going to remember that you did that to them. And I promise you, they're going to do it to somebody else. I promise you that will happen. You want to change the world? You want to help change the world? Can't do it yourself, right? I can't do it myself. No one can do it. But you want to start doing it? You want to start contributing? Do that. Watch how quickly things start turning around in your life and those around you. I love you guys. I hope you know that. Getting emotional. So I'm going to hang up now. Hang up. That is not what I do because I'm not on the phone. But I'm getting emotional anyway, so I don't want you to see me cry. So I'm going to sign off and I'm going to see you guys on Tuesday, and we're going to have an Intel Live on Tuesday. Okay? Sorry about the non-Intel Live tonight. I just didn't think I was going to be live. This giant contraption with a big arm that goes up there has a weight at the end of it. In this camera, it's front facing. It has this little fuzzy thing that goes on its head. I don't even have it on there tonight because I forgot. But I think we did pretty good with the new equipment, right? Love you guys. Have a good night. I will see you Tuesday.